Welcome to chapters 18 through 19 video essay questions. This week we discussed over the blood vessels and the overall heart. So the cardiovascular system is what we focused on for these past 2 weeks. So for these essay questions, the first one we have is discuss how the Frank-Starling law of the heart helps to explain the influence of venous return on stroke volume. So, to kind of dumb it down, the Frank-Starling law explains that the critical factor that controls stroke volume, so it's essentially what controls the amount of blood that pumps through your veins, aortas, or capillaries, is the degree of of stretching the cardiac muscle cells actually experience during this process just before they begin to contract. So contraction meaning that your heart is beating. So every time it beats, that's a contraction. So before it contracts, the actual cardiac muscle cells will begin to stretch enough to where a certain amount of blood will actually flow through. Now, the important factor in the stretching of these cardiac muscles is the amount of blood returning to the heart. So it's the constant flow of blood going in, circulating through the body, and blood coming back into the heart, so that way the cycle can continue. Next, we have explain the reasons for the observed changes in blood flow velocity in different regions of the circulation. Now, what is the benefit of the different velocities of blood flow? So, essentially, the reason for the observed changes in blood flow throughout the heart and the cardiovascular system is a reflection of the blood moving through cross-sectional areas of the vascular tubes being filled. So, aortas are going this way in one direction, essentially, and capillaries are going that way in another direction, but they end up crossing. So, they will actually experience differences in blood velocity flow. For instance, because of the cross-section being least in the aorta, so there's a little less of a cross-section with the aorta, so blood going into the heart, and greatest in capillaries, so blood coming out of the heart, the blood flow tends to be fastest in the aorta and slowest in the capillaries. So the actual benefit for this is essentially the best benefit for this is that a constantly moving flow means that there isn't just going to be there isn't going to be one part that's going to be greater than the other, or it won't affect as much to where it'll actually cause serious issues, much like cardiac arrest or anything like that. Or hypothetically speaking, if you did get injured, you would still be able to, there's still a sort of degree in which you would be okay, because there will still be that part that has blood flow going through. So it's just a matter of understanding that yes, one is faster than the other, but one is actually has a higher amount and greater volume than the other.